So how do I define power? I think power is gaining followership, being a leader, having people look to you for decision making, and you've got to be able to think quickly on your feet, because that's when people think.
You were the first woman to lead this firm. You were the first woman to lead one of the big four within your sector. Did you feel, or do you feel there's sometimes an extra pressure when you are a first as a woman?
I had been here for 28 years at the time at Deloitte. And so to me, this was a big deal personally to make it to this box or title called CEO, but it wasn't a big deal based on my experience. So I was pretty surprised when there was so much attention that it was the first woman CEO of any professional services firm, et cetera, which made me think, we really need to bring this from novelty to norm.
You spent a lot of your time here and a lot of your time as CEO helping to transform culture, emphasizing inclusivity, mentorship, and work-life balance. What advice would you give to other leaders in terms of how to really prioritize people over tasks?
My advice really is around something we're terming the culture of courage, because every one of our people wants to feel entrepreneurial in a big corporate environment. And so you have to have a culture of courage. And what that does is it means something different to everyone. It's a culture of courage around inclusion and diversity. It could be a culture of courage around innovation and failing fast. It can be a culture of courage of making choices of your time and where you spend your time. So everybody's been able to define that culture of courage the way they want, and then they feel like they're helping build the culture.
What's the most courageous thing you've done here?
Probably put in our family leave policy, which there were some that believed it was too expensive. We don't have high turnover, so why would we do it? We don't have trouble hiring people, and we hire thousands and thousands every year. So why would we give such a benefit? And I said, because it's the right thing to do for our people. And we wanted it to be very inclusive, male and female, for any family matters.
Being a leader within an organization requires trade-offs with your family, your time, your personal life. What was the toughest trade-off or sacrifice that you made, and how did you navigate that?
You make decisions as a family to determine how you want to build your career, and my husband didn't take promotions because of me, and I didn't take certain things because of him, and you work together as a team and as a family to determine what the right path is. It's not always going to be the same. At different stages of your career and at different stages of their life, you're going to want to spend different quality versus quantity time. And anybody who knows me makes sure that I am there for my kids. This is important to me. It's important to me as a role model for them. Quite frankly, I had a failure when I was about 13 years into my career, where a young woman who I didn't even know, she didn't know me, she knew who I was, and she said, I'm leaving the firm because I don't want to be like Kathy Engelbert. And talk about a dagger in your heart. And I said, well, why did she say that? I don't even know her. Oh, because she sees you work really long hours and you're on our IM system late at night. Well, what was happening is I was going home to be with the kids, and then I was booting up at night, and I realized people are watching you as a role model. So I had to have that failure to wake me up to say, you're a role model. You need to make sure you're honest about what you're doing. I started being honest. I ended up coaching my daughter's basketball team, and people are like, how could you do that with your job? And I said, well, it's important to me, and all of the moms and all of her kids who are all in college now, I think really looked at me as a role model, that I was able to balance it all.
Have you become a more resilient leader over the course of your career?
I've definitely become more resilient. You definitely also have to grow very thick skin when you're the leader of an organization of our size and scale, because everyone thinks they can do your job better than you. But I think overall, resilience is so important in today's environment. To show that leadership, because not everything's going to be written up nicely about you. Not everybody's going to think perfectly of you. Everyone's going to think, again, they can manage or run something better than you can. But if you gain the followership, if you do the small things right, get the big things and harder things done, I think resilience is just an outcome of that.